Chapter 4. The will of natural divinity has decided to destroy our false system. We can yuck it up all we want. Yell and scream all we want. Blame and raise hell all we want. Fudge the numbers, wear our masks, lie, cheat, steal, etc. None of it is going to change the fact that we are doing this to ourselves. Living as a human being on a planet designed by intelligence much higher than our own, there is one inevitable truth above it all. We will never be able to outrun the pace of nature, the pace of what is truly real and eternal. In this life, we are the end-all be-all of nothing, and we have no say. For some of us, this is the greatest news of all time. We can wash our hands of the nonsense and declare we're not participating anymore. For the others who can't see the forest for the trees, this might be the worst news ever. We were not given free will to fuck around and mess up everything. We were granted permission by higher forces to incarnate here and given a soul's mission with limited time and resources to complete it, and it's for ourselves. Depending on what impressions or falsehoods lie within you to resolve from past experiences, what or how these things are is at your own discernment. I can tell you nothing of vast fortunes, promising marriages, or anything else regarding your particular past or future. The most important thing I could tell you is that we weren't born to merely live and die like our ancestors have. The mindless ancestors who invented sham economies, needless wars, and artificial disease of the mind and body. For me personally, it feels as though the more I ever attempt to conform to what everyone else around me claims is reality and seems to be doing, I sink deeper into the vast ocean of nonsense, even if I partially believe it. This is because humans, in their ego-centered mode of existence, generate nothing more than an ocean of nonsense, kicking the can labeled collective karma further down the line as they avoid accountability. Unfortunately, part of the delusion we seem to share is that we'll never have to pay consequences for our destructive behaviors, previously, currently, or in the future. After all, we have the option to pop a pill that settles our symptoms temporarily. Or we can attend confession for our deeds done in darkness, for reassurance that a spiritual saint once incarnated here and paid the price in advance for everybody. We are so sure of this, we have to make sure everyone else knows it too. Someone or something else has already paid the toll or footed the bill. Funnily enough, the bills of our reality never seem to disappear. Nevertheless, our queasy stomachs settle for now. There's no need for individual or even collective evolution. Am I right? The moment one of us decided that a quick fix was the way to go, and everyone else followed this mantra, we signed up for a royal ass-kicking from the universe. We cursed generations of our mirrored selves to suffer the same symptoms, the same fates, the same struggles, until the day came that one stood up and simply said, no more. Even so, there may be one or two of us who pop our heads out of the sand and ask a few questions, or make a few observations. However, we still exist in the interconnected timeline, sharing the genetic roots with it all. For the majority, karma is coming in hot. The unrealized evils, unexpressed traumas, and unspoken shady deals have stirred up chaos with the ferocity of a Category 5 tornado, and we can't seem to fathom why. I would surmise from the viewpoint of an intelligent and divine creative force, from the beginning of what we call time, there were already naturally created measures in place to correct the ignorant will of evil, which we consistently commit against the self and each other on a round-the-clock basis, whether we do it consciously or subconsciously. The whispers and reminders of it already exist, from our skin rash to our tummy ache to our mental anxiety. All things must be expressed, and no one gets away scot-free. It's an absurd idea that any human who participates in this established system of fake ideas, with all that has already transpired since 2019 and before, would genuinely believe their life of rudderless consumerism and lack of self-awareness would be worth saving by any measurable standard. Because we all, at some point or another, deny the state of our lived reality as it is, and the bad side effects it produces. The snowball of karma has no choice but to roll through now, with a take no prisoners directive. And we initiated that. You can see this playing out in the great and grand absurdity of everything. The failure of artificial intelligence takeovers, constant price hikes, wage-based servitude, and other issues. In terms of energy, quantum mechanics, alternate timelines, the space-time continuum, however you may picture it to be, this one law is unavoidable. I can't explain the ins and outs of why, when, and how, and we're not going to be permitted any longer to bullshit ourselves. All I know is that it has arrived. This force, naturally produced by the affluence of a divine agenda, will do whatever it takes to correct the problem, to repair and preserve itself. A problem which is now largely human-based. If I were desecrating the planet, if I were a being who signed off on this premature death of billions of animals, hoarded an absurd amount of natural resources, charged others for the privilege of existing, or any number of crimes of morality, I'd be pretty terrified right about now. What's more, I would be in serious contemplation about how I'd need to change myself to avoid being marked for death in its path of destruction and confusion.